guys, it's the Devil's Talent here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 3 European pros and how they dominated en route to a first place performance in the first Trio Champion Cash Cup. But before I get into this VOD review, guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, as you can see on the screen, we have the POV of Hen, Putrick, and Decyptos, 3 very, very good European pros. Hen probably being the most well-known worldwide. So we're just going to take a look at what they did in these games en route to a dominant performance and finishing first. And most of these games are going to be super stacked with Storm Surge, so this is going to be really good for your later rounds of the Cash Cup, not your first W King game. So let's get started. As you can see, that was their first kill. Get some good surge. We're going to be taking a look at the comps here. Look how stacked he is. Look at his loot. Unfortunately, we don't get to see where these lands, if he's abusing upgrade stations or whatever they're doing, but this setup is absolutely nuts. 4 splashes, 2 big, 6 minis.
Yes, come on me. We have to get up, guys.
Comps from Decyptos to tell him to get up.
Come up. I'm closing to find.
Break this, Decyptos.
Come to me.
Very easy.
They basically use
From there.
really good job from Decyptos right there to get him to a nice clear line of sight.
Dead zone.
Like, notice how they call dead zone. Look, we're just going to take a quick look here. Notice how, again, they're kind of hugging the storm. Is something you always have to do in these kind of team modes. It doesn't matter what mode, really, but team modes, this really helps you. Notice how they are able to control all the space. Look at how everyone is either behind them or to their left.
Come to us.
Just make a big tarp.
They're making a huge tarp.
We're watching it. I have 7
Take my
shield.
Here. They got knocked.
They have good comms right here. They have a big knock so they can spray him out. They don't have to worry about too much because they're in hard mats.
I'm getting the loot.
Come on, fast.
Go back, fast, please. Come.
And then so Decyptos leads. Again, notice how
I have 300 mats.
On me.
You're out.
they kind of get in a little bit of a scuff situation, but they don't really commit too much.
Here.
Good comms. Hey, I don't have any match. And look immediately where they go to. This was what I was talking about earlier. I just remember. Notice again how they go back to hugging the storm. Notice how they have all this free space. They're playing this so exactly how you want to. And they're able to save match just by doing this, even though they're not good. And look, they're getting most ahead. Always covering the head. They're doing just fine on low, not even worrying about height as of yet.
Nice.
Nice. And they get a huge impact right there to get some mats. And look at all the space they're creating with this Bizzle tarp. They control so much space.
I'm with you.
Sam.
Good comps to spam to realize the opponent's a solo and wood.
Get him. Nice.
And they end up getting pick up 2 more impacts on low, but they're playing together.
I have mass too.
But because of their old tarp, they controlled so much space of the dead side. They're able to save their materials.
Nice.
And they're absolutely fragging out as well on the way, getting impacts and pickups. They get Silver Surfer.
We're coming. Yes, here.
Good read right there. Good crosshair placement from Hen right there. Placing it right on the forehead.
I have Surfer.
And even a weak little 40 tag gets the job done for the kill.
Here.
Just stay together.
Good comms from Decyptos to stay together.
50-50 on this.
Above you guys. Go back.
Good comms is good above you. I love this from Hen right here. He sits here, waits back for this angle, nice and safe and protected. Gets a nice little crack.
Okay.
Make sure he reloads. Good reload management. Catches an opponent right here.
Guys. Okay.
Gets cracked a little bit.
To you.
I'm ready to impulse, guys.
And gets back to their old kind of builds. They controlled so much space.
Okay,
Get to me. I have so much mats.
Good calls from Hen. Hey, get to me. I have so many materials.
I'm popping me.
Especially since one is completely out. Good comms. I really love their communication in this trio. This trio really plays really well together.
I need big.
I have only minis.
Comms, I need big.
I got boogies.
I have
So unfortunately, Boogie's not a part of competitive anymore, so don't have to worry about it, even with how broken. So something that can't be exploded. Good recognition that they have that box. Boom, get a nice little 40 tag. Notice how scuffed this position is, but it doesn't really panic. He makes sure he breaks through. Great utilization of the Silver Surfer with shocks. They get in and they immediately take height. They get crash pad, and Hen is all the way up.
You have die.
And they're doing exactly very, very well.
Yeah.
That full HP.
Already-
That full
already. I have
Good
four-
comms.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
he
go
got
down,
some
I'm
tags. They're low HP, low HP. They tell him to drop down. Gets a 30 tag.
He's dead, he's dead.
Dead.
You get the kill. I'm finishing
Gets the
Under
get the
you.
calm. Hey, and then look at this immediate pitch. It's really, really good.
Let's
The
go!
comms right there saying, "Hey, he's weak. Drop down. Get
Shooting
get what you need to
against
get."
another team.
And that's exactly what they do.
Heads are sniped.
Nice.
Beautiful job right there by Hen, getting a free
Finish.
kill, a free
I'm going
free
for
points were there, and someone standing still shooting.
It's the bodies.
We don't see how this fight really unfolded,
loot
but
on
it
us.
looks like they landed at Fortilla, ended up having a favorable zone at Fortilla. They end up killing Steelix right there,
120, 120.
one of the best solo players in the world.
I'm
Fucking
going.
So good utilization of the shocks.
I'm
I
gonna
love
do
how
this.
they split shocks
Get
between the
to
two
each
because
other
they
and
do
then
a
use it later
great
without me.
job of regrouping, and it's something that you may have to do sometimes with shocks. So it's always good to make sure that every person has mobility.
I'm looking back for kills.
The comms, hey, I'm looking back for kills. He's getting ahead. He has this movement. He doesn't need to worry about getting materials.
We can crash pad from
Everyone that looks back is pretty much just free tags, free storm surge.
I'm here.
They do a great job of impulsing back up together, and now they're all together. That can always be an issue.
You can take high ground.
We can go for height.
Good comms, hey, oh, we could go for height. Unfortunately, gets cracked,
Go.
Let's go.
but everyone decides to go.
I have it.
Good comms from Putrick saying he has it.
Take high ground. Shot them. He's dead.
Nice.
Beautiful, gets a fry, and look at them hold this high ground. They have so much.
Cracked. Go above.
I have no hard mats. I give you all my hard mats.
Good comms, I have no hard mats. I have no hard
I
mats.
need big.
Yeah, take this.
Good comms from Hen saying I need a big, I need a big. They throw him a big, he takes.
Yeah,
We can impulse up.
Just focus all the people.
Good comms, hey, we can impulse off. No, we don't need it. No, we don't need just focus.
He's cracked. Okay, chill. Go on, guys. You're too below.
They're saying go on. He said he's too below. He means to say they're too high. So really good job from Hen right there to go ahead, and then he's going to eventually reconnect. And look, he still has a decent amount of materials for this late in the game.
Look back. We need kills, guys. Go.
Look back when he kills.
Shoot everyone.
I'm staying here.
They can afford a
Ready.
solo tarp
Sun
because
is dying,
everything
good.
is so congested.
Still go on zone.
And
We need
Decyptos
kills,
has
guys.
shocked all the way, or has moved all the way up. I like, again, split tarping, something I talk about in all my trio VOD reviews. Controlling different layers allows the people from Ultimate High to stay up in case the one below them gets shot out.
Give me
They'll
the
still have
impulse.
control on top.
No, mind.
Here, crack. Nice.
Notice again how they're kind of just switching roles of who stays back and who kind of tarps ahead. Notice how Hen pretty much used all of his hard mats, so he's no longer having tarping priority. Other members of the trio are having tarping priority because they have hard mats, obviously. They want to make sure that they do not get knocked down at this power position because they haven't relinquished it the entire time.
Dead.
Gets a nice pick. And pretty much the whole lobby kind of dies in this area. And then now they're getting ahead. And then it's just basically pressure, which is something you always want to do. And they're just pressuring. They're just spraying the rest of the...
This team. It's a full trio or something.
Good comms. It's spray this team, full trio. I really like that decision right there to use that shock. It's not going to be too much help to you in these tight zones, and try to maybe do what you could do last year with Caddy and get people out last season with Caddy. And notice how what getting ahead
On me.
can always do for you, and making sure that you tarp and use every map. He's still got 100 builds going into final zone, and the whole lobby has been down below fighting on super congestion.
In the tree. Move 30 white.
A tale of two very different games. And what I mean by that is basically they played the exact opposite ends of the spectrum. As you can see, 164 points. They won by 30 points. They only played 8 matches. They won 4, and they didn't even show 2 of these matches. But these matches are really tales of 2 different styles of what to do. So in the first match, they played dead side zone. They waited. They bided their time. They got their impacts and they got their mats back up with all these impacts. They controlled a absolute ton of space on low ground, utilizing hugging the storm to maximize their mats, and then they maximized their space with the Bizzle tarps and the wide tarps, and they ended up getting picks here and there. And then as time went on, again, as you saw, that Hen had a ton of mats. They basically had as a trio a decent amount of mats with all the picks that they were getting. So like, okay, we have Shocks, we have Silver, let's now go from bottom to top, take height, and that's exactly what they do, and they ended up winning the 2v2, and that was really good. And then if you look at the second game, it's the exact opposite. They get into first moving, they play kind of a mid layer for a little bit. Going into that first moving, there's an opportunity to take height. They use their mobility to take height, and that's exactly what ends up happening. They take height, and they never, ever relinquish it. Completely different styles of way of winning games. They basically maximize their win condition. Both they had the mats and the second game to hold it and make sure and spray, and they fortunately also had no one really challenge them. And in the first match, they waited and waited to the most opportune time to then go for height when everything was super congested, and they probably had more mats than everyone because, again, they got ahead, they controlled the space, and they got tons of picks, didn't have to waste a lot of mats or waste a ton of utility. They played extremely well together on low, and the second, again, was very, very different. They just held height pretty much from 6th on. It was the first moving zone, or the second moving zone, I believe, where they ended up taking height. So really impressive stuff, and it just shows the versatility and understanding of the game by this trio. It was really, really impressive. They have very, very good comms, very good understanding of rotations, and understanding of what I like to call win condition. What can I do to give myself the greatest chance, or my team the greatest chance, to win the match? And they did it both flawlessly in those games, and they pretty much dominated the entire game. As you can see, winning a Cash Cup by 30 points is pretty much a dominant statement and dominant performance. But that is going to do it for today's videos, guys. If you did enjoy today's VOD review, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications, and I hope that I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.